Right, so I'm going to do another commentary for my speed drawing videos. This one was for Beluga Weekly number 140. And I think I'm just going to have a quick look, see if I can find it. Um, Actually, you know what? Maybe not such a good idea. I don't want to knock this out of sync. Because my laptop isn't incredibly fast. It's pretty good, but it's uh, so I think I must have done this one in like 2011, 2012, something like that. That would have been when I was making these. It was roughly that sort of time. This video is going to be longer than the last one I did. I think because I was putting a bit more effort into this one, I had a bit more stuff to do for the background. Because this was, I think, the second or third comic that I did with these characters. This is Jason, the one that you're seeing here right now. It was about him and his wife Frankie, and the two of them live in this kind of I don't know what you would call it actually. It's meant to be like I suppose it's um, a place near the sea. I don't know. Um, anyway, so I ended up when I did their first comic. When you see the interior of their house, there's a lot of details in it. So right now I'm drawing all the foreground stuff, but I think that there's a lot of this video where I'm basically doing a background, and it takes quite a long time to do. This will be the third panel, I think, because I just drew some of the drawings for the first two panels just then, and yeah, both of these characters, Jason and Frankie, have changed quite a bit because Frankie is in the latest, the most recent comics that I did. Um, the story involves her, and she can't find Jason. He's missing. Um, I never really got to the end of it. As I said in the last one, I kind of ran out of steam, and I've not been working on them. But yeah, Frankie looks really different now that I'm watching the. um, yeah, I was a bit wobbly with the outlines of the drawings of these characters, and this was back when I used to redraw each character, even if their faces weren't going to change an awful lot. I would actually redraw the character from the beginning, and yeah, because I did ultimately change a lot of my methods, because in my more recent comics, what I would tend to do is just draw a picture of the character and kind of use that as the template. So I would duplicate it for every time I needed to use that character, and I would only redraw them if I felt like drawing them at a different angle or something. Because I've worked at trying to basically know when to kind of keep things very, very consistent, and when I have to be a bit more creative and do things a bit differently, kind of deviate from the norm, and that's been quite interesting. So yeah, when I did this one, it was really just it was always a matter of drawing and redrawing, and trying to match up the characters as best I can, because I found that when you're creating characters, it's a lot of work, kind of deciding, I suppose, not only deciding on their appearance and how you think they should look, but sticking to that. And yeah, I particularly found that with Beryl and Stan. Those are characters who have appeared in a lot of Beluga Weekly comics, and I'm probably going to get around to talking about one of those in a video at some point. Because when I first, because I had this idea in my head of how those characters were going to look, and I remember at quite an early stage drawing a picture and being like, yeah, that's it, I'm going to keep that style. But it turned out to be a lot harder than I thought. I eventually, I after a lot of practice, I got it. But it was interesting to me how I'd already drawn something, and I was finding it really hard to do as good a job as I'd already done. Oh, by the way, if you look to the right of the screen, you can see the file that I had for the first Jason and Frankie comic, and you can actually see that Frankie looks very different even between these two, because these are both very early comics. So yeah, I was already kind of evolving these characters quite a bit. You can actually see a kind of progressive change here. So yeah, I tried to keep an eye on the old drawings. So this is basically a practical demonstration right here of how I tried to keep these characters consistent. And yeah, so it is surprisingly hard, and I don't think anything really prepared me for how much time I'd have to spend kind of mastering my own characters. It's a bit weird, but yeah. By the way, I did have a go at doing a Let's Draw video, and yeah, it is a lot harder. It's nothing like this, because I'm not trying to focus on drawing right now. All of this, was done years ago. Everything you're seeing now. So when I had a go at doing a Let's Draw, yeah, I did find it was really difficult to keep, to carry on talking while I was drawing, because I'm not that good at multitasking. But I made a video, and right now it's kind of sitting on my YouTube channel as a private video. Let's see, it's about 20 minutes long. Yeah, and I have a feeling that some of you might like to see it. So if you're watching this and you would like to see my Let's Draw video, then just leave a comment, and I will make it visible. I'm just not overly enthusiastic about it, because it was I found it really hard to carry on talking, as I say. So with this, it's just a commentary. And there's another little interesting thing I can tell you about, because I'm using Comic Life here. Excuse me. And I worked out that with Comic Life, you can add separate layers. So sometimes I would actually insert a background from a separate file into one of the panels in Comic Life, and I would put the characters on as separate layers. I'm not doing that here, actually. You can see that I've drawn the background behind Jason. Yeah, and I say I feel like this is where most of the work. This is what most of the work went into. That's quite interesting. In the first one, in number 125, there's that same window, and it kind of looks like it's late in the evening and the sun's going down. And in this one, it's much lighter, and it's probably quite early in the day. That's just a very lazy attempt at making it look like it's kind of a log cabin. That's what it is, really. A log cabin by the sea. I don't know if those exist. Anyway, so my dad pointed out I'd got the scale completely wrong here, because these characters are supposed to be otters. That's it. And I was always very I didn't really put together that many rules for what the characters look like, and it doesn't really make sense that this crown that you're seeing here would be that huge. It's either a really big crown or they're really, really small otters. Because yeah, otters are quite small, but I really didn't think about the scale there. So I think because I was used to drawing Beryl and Stan, and that would be the kind of scaling that I would use for them. Because Beryl and Stan are rats, so they're a lot smaller. Yeah, so they would that would kind of be justified for that. I did put a lot of work into these, and I've often made it so that a lot of the stuff I draw would get cut off. I think because if you look at those emeralds that I put in that crown, the ones at the far left, I don't think those actually show because I think maybe they do. I don't know. When I drop these pictures into Comic Life, everything gets cropped and a lot of things end up invisible, and I think that's one of the reasons why I just ultimately decided it would be easier just to do the whole thing, like draw the whole thing in Illustrator. So set up all the panels in there and just transfer them over into a Photoshop document. I actually don't know anybody else who uses this method of using Illustrator to do all the lines, to do the outlines, and then using Photoshop to colour them in. But I just I feel comfortable doing it that way. It's hard to explain, but really just the simplest way I can put it is I always found that I like how you can do line work in Illustrator, but I don't really like how the fill tool works in Illustrator, because it's all vectorized and it's all paths and things, and I feel like there's more freedom to add color and texture using Photoshop. So that's what I did. And yeah, this was also back in the day when I wouldn't use a very high resolution document. I would just export this as a 72 DPI image and then just upload it, and that would be it. More recently, I did a high quality version that could be printed, and I also saved an additional low resolution one for my website and everywhere else. I was going to upload it. Right, I'm getting near the end now. It's almost done, as you can see. I don't get this one. That's not very funny. But yeah, so yeah, you see, you don't see all of the crown. You don't see the green jewels at the ends. So I'm adjusting it there. But it was quite a cool program to use. I'm checking the spelling, I think. There we go. There I'm exporting. There I'm opening it, and there it is. Okay, so thanks again for watching this one. So that's 2 down. Many more to go. So yeah, once again, if you are interested in seeing my Let's Draw video, just leave a comment. Just say you'd like to see it, and I will show it to you.